Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good. I don't know if you know about Bahia Faith, right? But uh, this is a proposal to my favorite YouTubers that I watch daily. I watch an abundance of people. Um, I catch the same content or I catch extended clips of the same content, so it's well worth it. Everybody that I'm tagging in this video, big ups to you. This is the good side of me. This is the good side of the content creator that I've always wanted to be. So at first I was a person that misjudged other people. I felt like if you wasn't groomed for college and you was to graduate, maybe you should do something different than blogging because blogging was our alternative and I'm talking about as a bachelor graduate. But, you know, certain people don't take the situation when it's apparent to, initiate themselves for the 4 year, you know. So besides that, this line right here is this isn't nothing but a reach out to silence some incorporeal, intangible ghosts. I had a monetized page. It was the page where I was, you know, calling or howling a clipper joint of Lamar Pearson. As you can see, the page has a Kai Sinat tag, so that's why I'm putting you guys on a different plateau. Oh, that page was monetized. A couple of pages have 1,000 subscribers. Whatever it is, being that I see a bunch of stuff that you guys are highly interested in, and I bring a lot of content to the table. So I know you guys haven't heard of me for a while or whatever, but I've been out and people that you've watched and you've probably admired or something over the years. I've had recollection of me and used content of mine. Okay, as expected, I didn't receive a reward. A couple of spins on the not a SMM, but maybe a different buzz or whatever. Anyway, this extension is to stop the whole Kai Cenat DDG, Deshae Frost beef that I have. I have my own buzz prior to this in my city, my family and friends. They don't get along with each other due to this situation. I could talk about that more in private if you want it. But this is basically a content creator who can help and just asking for, maybe a chord or an extension, something like my name, you know. So this is, Dre OG's. This is Dark Waters 9. This is Glow Boy. This is a list of other people. I know what this is. If I'm not at your age, I'm probably older than you guys, right? So Kai Cenat has made this personal. Better yet, all three of them has, and I know you guys are just working. So the full victim to what's about to happen, as you can see, Trump is in office. As you can see, he has his tariff. They took away a paid system called TikTok and gave us a tariff that we're gonna have to see in a little while. They didn't, put it on immediately. So they're not really helping Americans. They're just shoving us back in difficult jobs. Like I say, they, the elite, the IRS, the federal government. See, when you come to my page, you get the details. You get the answers that you want to hear. Every answer that you thought wasn't able to be answered, I've answered it. And that's why these big time creators, they know who I am. And these famous popping lit people, they know how I get down. Had a chakra since I was 7. Okay, got the whole damn thing. So now, just looking for a side job, something that I like doing. If you guys want, you're invited to the hood. It's a famous hood. 2 rappers come from here. We won't really talk about that. Matter of fact, more than 2 famous rappers, a few of them. But there's a lot of orb, uh, you know, activity over here, 8 hours away from Canada. Uh, and Niagara Falls is up there, so it's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna say you're gonna come out here and that day you're gonna see some. It's a high possibility, however, and I do know coordinates that you are able to see certain stuff. It's the weather. So you probably see stuff at your house where you're from, grew up on it and all, never paid it attention. Just like the Tar Heels in North Carolina, when you're driving on the street, for some reason you see these black patches that look like black ice and they go away. You see how that's an effect, like a mirroring effect, when the sun looks like it's like 6, 7 suns and stuff. And the younger people don't understand that type of propaganda. And sometimes they become clowns in classes, class clowns. And they look out on it and play on it for a fan base. You feel me? So I know how everything goes pertaining to audience. Like I said, you're invited to this side. We have exotic birds. So instead of coming across an orb or perhaps a UAP, sorry, or UFO, you could come across a crazy bird, some like a hybrid golden eagle. They have the hybrid golden eagle flying around here with the big yellow beak, and he looks like a cartoon, kind of like he looks like a parrot. There's one of those over here. There's also a harpy eagle, which might be a female. There's a harpy eagle over here. So if you know anything about seeing, the sky beings, meaning the birds or the entities like the orbs, they correlate with each other. And once you see a lot of bird activity, that's why it's best to come in the summertime. But you do see UFOs when the birds aren't there. You see a bizarre, awkward bird activity. 10 out of 10 times a UFO is gonna appear, or you're gonna see one if you stay out there long enough. So this is a dope spot. Back in the day before technology was lit, it was a lot of shit over here too. Before, so this part, is Ravine Avenue, the ditch, the bottom. This has always been, a hot spot for things. They have this abandoned train station that has been renamed twice, from the gates of hell to the gates to hell. It's an abandoned train station. It's a whole bunch of rumors. The city silenced it. Like I said, in the city next to us, well, not next to us, but a few cities around, it was a battle over there. But this building, certain people said it blew up, and certain people just said they just evacuated and abandoned it. But it was labeled, entitled the Gates of Hell, or the Gates to Hell. It crumbled so bad that in the middle of the building, it was nothing but the Hudson River. The floor had caved in, and kids and all types of adults and teenagers, girls and stuff used to go in there before they fix it and walk around the broken stairs and climb all the way high on the tower and shit like that. A couple people lost their life throughout the years and stuff, but this building was crazy. It had a bad reputation, you know. But like I said, if you're gonna, the orbs are over here. As you can see on my videos, I have the orbs surrounding the building and cloaking out. Now I don't. Now listen, the state has, or the city rather, they allowed construction and they're trying to have a new city under our nose. You see what they did to California, so here it is. They've been starting the new city in New York, and they've been trying to get rid of this shit and the way it looks. The look that we have the racist colonial era look. We don't have the racist slavery look. We have a different type of look. And I'm just being honest. If you don't like what's coming out of my mouth, it doesn't matter. I don't care. For the simple fact, it's actually in literature, it's in books and shit. So I don't care how you feel about me if I'm telling you the truth. So they're trying to exterminate these old castles. Yeah, there's castles up here. Besides a mansion, a nice mansion, the mansions, new ones. There's castles up here. So they're trying to get rid of that shit because these people still live in those neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods are degreed. Those neighborhoods are racist. The cops are racist. This is New York, northern New York. This is not the city. This is not the five boroughs. You see what happened to Kai, a little black kid? Look where it happened to him. It happened to him up here. It didn't happen to him like that in the city. You see? And for that matter, honestly and truthfully, it really doesn't matter who slashed him because it happened to him. If it was a white kid with blue eyes, is it the same as the half Caribbean, half Spanish kid with the sharper hairline? Then that looks like this shit. The sharpest hair. That's what the nigga. That's what the nigga was known for. He had the sharpest. He had one of the sharpest hairlines in White Plains, and he was brazen and rude about that shit. For such a handsome kid, he's really a cruddy piece of shit. The light skinned kid, he keeps falling victim to the dark skinned kid. He he developed a fucking a personality. You see what I'm saying? And he was younger than us, and he took advantage of that shit because he knew we were related to them, and he knew how we got down. All that shit is dead now. Whatever Kai is acting like scared the shit out of him, or whatever Poetic Flacco, whatever he act like he's scared of now, or whatever, a lot of that shit is over with. So, you guys are welcomed over here at the expense of my name, especially if my government name is going to be thrown around. Y'all could come film over here. I'll film with you. You know? The orb situation is about to get crazy. You see the weather has a pattern, and the reason why the weather has a pattern is because it's soiling itself. It's trying to correct itself. Mad, it's cold, and then 35, 37, 40 degrees feels warmer than normal, to be honest. That's because humidity is being released in the wintertime at a higher velocity. So that means either the summer is going to change, like August is going to die off, meaning August is not going to be hot no more, and the last 2 weeks aren't, or August is going to heat up, and then the Indian summer is back, that extended from September, well, from the summertime into September, Octoberish. That's the cycle. That's why nobody's panicking. Nobody was just old enough to remember weather and knew that weather that gets you sick. You invited over here. That's what the orb is. Because those drones have chemicals. So that shit is not wanted over here. That's a natural robotic reaction. That's what people consider God. It's right over here. You come see it. Peaceful. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to show you more orbs. I just caught one. And it didn't look like it looked in person. It looked like a porcupine. When I was looking at it, it looked like a porcupine. When it's on film, it looks like the same thing that's on YouTube and Twitch and stuff or whatever, or TikTok. You know? Trump got to take us out. The aliens got to come to Trump. Y'all niggas already said he already got the tariff because he owns so much land. You know? We just gonna talk paperwork wise. We know he isn't entitled to shit. And the more land he the more land he buys, is just the more land he can die on. So it doesn't matter. We want the emails, okay? So a lot of that federal shit is over here. The federal building is over here. Kamala Harris, Trump and them is prominent over here. You could probably catch an interview. You can snap a photo or a shot. You can go to the federal building in White Plains. When the orbs is over here back in the day, I'm talking about back in the day, that shit is true. What they show on TV and what they show on phone on the internet. When they come from a certain place, like from out of water, that disc shaped one, they have two military planes firing them, following them shits. They don't fire at them. They just follow them. They follow them over the course of the water. That shit is true. You're liable in New York to look out your window because you're gonna hear how loud the military helicopters is and see one of them UFOs and how them shits is really are. There's no people in them shits. It's just weather. That's all it is. It's weather. Now what they showed us newly is them shits shooting missiles out the sky. Now that's gonna open somebody's eyes. That opened my eyes. I knew it could happen, and I feel like that shit could just absorb a human. You know, I just feel that way. Maybe it can, maybe it won't, maybe it will. Maybe that's how everybody go at the same time. Maybe all of them shits could just come like a thing of bees and just start zapping the shit out of us. That's how often I see them. I see them so much for so long that I can sit up there and look and try to analyze it, see where it came from. You see, they're ahead of the fires. It's like when a fire hit, when that wildfire hit and the smoke and everything got so bad that the UFO just came alive in the fire. You see how smart the Earth is? I'm just saying. Did it not look like that? Then those little white circle shits that flew out, did they not look like they just automatically, digitally just started? They spawned here, like a video game. Them shits just spawned here, and they was powerful enough to put the fire out or save whatever. That's what that shit looked like to me. After an electric weapon, after an energy weapon or an incineration weapon, that's what happens. Chemicals and all that. That shit is not over here, even though we got the old military base, the old like tanks and all of that. We still got it over here. It's kind of underground. There's a whole underground city under Yonkers, and niggas really don't know. But it's the military. The alliance is with White Plains, and the White Plains is part of the federal government. That's what's so special about New York, and that's what's so special about this side of New York. And in White Plains, there was a battle, not a war, not a civil war, not a world war, but a battle. So that's why everything is federal property over there also. So you're gonna see the most bizarre bugged out shit. You're gonna see animals. They pulled a coyote out of the frozen meat shelf at one of the grocery stores. Yeah, you're liable to see that shit in here, up here. You can see a Black Panther, a real one. See, if you go to the Bronx, you're gonna see a person called the Black Panther. He's gonna be protesting. You come up here, you might see a Black Panther running down the hill, about to bite the shit out your little teacup Yorkie. This is a whole bunch of stuff over here. You can have a good time. You know? We had every damn thing. Everything. Niggas, you name it. You could probably bump into it outside. And people that back in the battle days, when the battle was in White Plains, you know what was in Yonkers? It was the land of the wolves. Yeah, the actual canine dog, the wolf. Not the little coyote, the wolf. Yeah, this was the land of the wolf. We had indigenous animals over here. And so did White Plains. So really think about them UFOs and their purpose on planet Earth. Especially if they're not resurrecting the trees, the tall trees that grew out of the planet, because it's not worth it. That's why everybody feels like it's a test. We all haven't came together and try to figure that out. We think we better than people because of articulation, words, verbs, nouns, and understanding the sentences if you pass the civil exam or something like that. Or military ASVAT. Yeah, whatever it's called. That joint, the SAT, the ACT, all whatever. And forgot that that shit is not what y'all think. Language is not godly because he cursed the people that was building up to speak in different languages so they won't go to heaven. So guess what? To me, that means nobody's going to heaven. If there's a firmament and we prisoners here, and these people that look like us are actually aliens and they started that shit over there, then oh hell no, we need help. It's so many angles. That's an atheist angle. An atheist angle think we are abducted by aliens and we are put here for the same sole purpose that we're here for and we're doing. And other aliens from different planets, they don't care. That's what it. That's an atheist's standpoint. That's not a religious, a person of God or a person of the Creator, the most exalted. That's not their standpoint. You see. Then you have scientists. You know. Me, truthfully, it all makes sense. I feel like the orb that I seen the other day. The reason why I didn't state it, because that shit started scaring me and creeping me the fuck out. That's why. Because it started in Jersey. You see, only certain joints spooked me out. When I was on a basketball court, pitch dark, and I caught that orb, I wasn't scared. But when I seen that top hat shit in Richmond, Virginia with my best friend, and that the spooky way, the bizarre way that shit was floating, that shit scared the shit out of me. And then when I seen the one the other day, and that shit came from New Jersey. Look, it was bright day outside. It was bright. I was sitting up there shadow boxing and jumping rope. And I looked up. It caught my attention because it got spiky. This shit got spiky. And I didn't record it, nothing. I just stopped. I just stopped. I looked at it. People was looking at me shadow box at the park. I just kept shadow boxing. And then I was like, all right, I'm about to do some pull-ups and push-ups. So it was, 4 or 5-ish, and that's what time the sun comes down in the wintertime on the East Coast. And I was like, there's no way that's a drone. At first I thought it was a drone. I was like, okay, that's a drone with a special light in front of it. And it's camouflage. It's not the transparent cloud, but that's a drone with a special light in the front, right? So I'm looking at it, and it's in Jersey, and it's chilling. The planes, the airplanes, the helicopters is flying by it. It didn't cloak out. It didn't do nothing. But that shit just started moving. So when it started moving, it started coming to Yonkers. That's Alpine, New Jersey, across the river. By the what? Petrified trees. What's that? The mountains. So it's leaving the mountains. The orb is leaving the mountains, and I'm looking at it. And mind you, I have a whole bunch of pictures where there's a beautiful sunset, and you see the most awesome colors. You see the magenta color in the sky. You see the violet, the indigo. You see all types of purples and pinks when you catch them. Or you can see the hot reds and the oranges, the tangerines, the different type of yellows. You see all of that, okay? Because it's temperature. It's like an aurora beam or an aurora light. So that sometimes happens over here. But it's not the full aurora. It's called the aura. Aura meaning one color. And it's like real streaky or it's dark and cloudy. So it wasn't an aurora cloud either, because usually the orbs, they station by the aurora clouds, like on some camouflage shit. And then they cloak out, they turn black. Mind you. So I'm hitting the pull-up bar, and I'm using the other 6 bars on the side of them, because you're supposed to use them before you hit the pull-up bar. This shit is it just started moving. As soon as I put the gloves away, and I turned the bell off, I was recording. But I wasn't recording looking that way. I was recording looking the opposite way because I put the gloves on and I was hitting the wall. I hit the concrete wall. I don't hit trees. Sometimes I used to hit trees, but I hit the concrete wall sometimes or whatever, just real fast. And make a video of it, just teaching technique, how to turn your punches, how to block and turn your punches, and how to switch hit. Boom. Gave y'all the video y'all wanted. I'm not in shape, but y'all can see I'm still sharp or whatever on what I can do. But I'm stopping. Y'all see me in my video. So go watch my video. I keep walking away. So people on IG was like, why does he keep walking away? Is he getting tired from throwing the punches? And the orb is taking me, or the drone or whatever, this shit is just taking me to a whole, you see it on camera. It takes me, it was unexpected. It takes me to a whole different place. So I keep staring at this shit. And it winds up picking up some speed. Like this shit got fast. I was like, see, that's a drone. That's not an orb, but the orb that I caught on the basketball court did the same shit. I was like, see, that's a drone coming from Jersey, and that shit came right to me. And y'all see it on camera. That shit came right to me. The light, the sun was going down. I'm doing the push-ups. That shit sped up, bro. I'm not kidding you. I'm not bullshitting you or nothing. That shit sped up. As soon as the lights went down, as soon as the sun went down, that shit sped up. Sped up. It had no other light. It still had the porcupine. It was a sharp, probably 12 pointy ass sharp compass points. You see how, you know how a compass is? It was like that. The light was like that. But this shit did not show exactly how it showed in person. It did not show on the iPhone. And that bugged me out. And the reason why it bugged me out is because 3 summers ago, before my grandma had passed, by the Queen of Brooklyn, what's her name? Zenobia. Remember she had passed, the lady that was Instagram famous and YouTube famous. The UFO that I caught was right by her crib. Now she died years ago because something happened with, they think somebody threw out the window or she fell out the window or whatever. Right? I knew her. I don't think she threw it. I don't think she committed suicide. She had a lot to live for. She was smart. She worked in the medical field, and she had a son. So she was already thrown out the window by her boyfriend before that. Anyway, I caught the UFO right by her crib, and the UFO did not look like what it looked like on the phone, and it was tripping me out. You see how the lens. You see how you could put like an extra red lens on the phone, but that's a cover up. You see how it's a cover up? You can't film certain shit. That's how you know the government is on our ass, bro. Think about that. If TikTok is gone from the iPhone 4G, you can never get it back. And TikTok was the app that was breaking this shit first, and people were getting paid just by being privy on making content. I'm talking about any and everything they did. They posted it and they wound up getting paid because it had an automatic robot. So they took the best shit out. And they still trying to direct you to Facebook because the Americans and the FBI's, you know what I'm saying? The American FBI. You see how that shit. All right, if I didn't explain that correctly, all right, with the federal government, it doesn't matter what color, creed, race you are. They all become the federal government. Do they flip on each other? They absolutely do. And that's what happens in war. And that's why war started. Okay? But this is how you know that this shit is all federal. Because the way I was looking at the orb, it was tripping me out. But when I was looking at it on the phone, I can tell it wasn't a drone. So maybe the orbs are smarter than we thought. Listen here. It has to be like that. Think about an artificial intelligence and think about a natural intelligence. And I'll give you an example of a natural intelligence. Degeneration and rotting. A worm. If you think about Islam's original purpose was what? Was discipline for what they did in Hindu. But listen, they all stemmed off of Alaqua. Alaqua is like a leech. So if everything comes from a leech, and that's where the idea of a serpent came from, even planet Earth, you have to look at the other side of the field of rotting and degeneration. So if you could get a tapeworm that just keep doing bad shit and evil and demonic shit to you, surviving off nasty stuff, but it's becoming alive, do you call that bad or evil? If something can start deteriorating and worming and getting bigger by being a detriment to you and rotting to you, I think the orb is smart enough to camouflage and shapeshift. I think that shit is possible. I think us humans, we got so beyond ourselves when we asked the question where the fuck we came from, and then we, in the same breath, we resented the devil and we resented God. We did too, everybody. We all did. We did this shit at the same time. It doesn't matter. We all asked why, just like the Satan. Supposedly, a Satan, right? Just look at that shit. I think an orb can shapeshift. And that shit could turn in, if it can shoot a missile out, that shit could turn into a bird. I'm just saying. It could turn into a squirrel. It has to be. If you're talking about CERN, Project Bluebeam, portals, and black holes, and everything comes from incorporeal, a ghostly matter that you can see, it looks clear, white, and invisible, and then it becomes something into fruition that's full color and flesh and embodiment, and we as humans has never seen a new color, We just seen shades of the same color. I think you understand where I'm coming from with the orbs. Different languages in the way we act. It don't matter if you deserve something or not. Because when this shit happens to you, it happens to you. Tell the truth. The, the emotion and feeling is probably being used wrong. How and why? Something called language and words. So you mean to tell me we were supposed to be in prayer or in a hum 24/7? Yes. That's why Islam is what it originally was. It was to get your chakras back. But words, unfortunately, wherever they came from, they make it very difficult to tap into the inner self and make the strongest muscle in your body stronger, which is the heart. The green chakra for a woman, and the green chakra for a guy. That's in the chest plate. He gets his strength up top, and the woman gets hers down low on her legs. In order to get your heart stronger, you have to run. If you halfway do it and just get your top stronger, you're going to fail miserably in life, and you're going to deplete quickly. These orbs ain't man-made. The question is, are humans man-made? Or did we come from these shits? Did they just come to the... Think about that shit now. Honestly and truthfully. Can the orb just come to the grass and just make a human being, and the human being just continues a life? He has his life, or she has his life already stored in the brain. Has a house to go to, a pasta pit, and the person ain't got food to eat, and a parent and everything. If you're talking about coming from something that's ghostly and intangible. Can one of them orbs, when nobody is looking, after a wildfire or whatever, your nearest local bridge or your nearest local forest gathering, can one of them shits just come out of nowhere and just put a human right there? And the human just function and just start living. He got a house. The nigga just start walking and then he just run into his car. All we seen was the orb put the human down and the human just start functioning. Is that possible? You see what I'm saying? The shits don't talk. They're very silent. You hear the drones very loud. Telepathy. How do we learn a word called telepathy and then say it's not real? How do we learn a word called magic and then say it's not real? But then you acknowledge in court when you're about to throw somebody's life away that something is intangible. So that's why the person is guilty. Huh? What type of alien pirate shit is that? You kidding me? Whoa. Yeah, can them orbs come down to the ground? Can an orb go to the water and become a shark? How you like that shit? For all you beachgoers, since you like going in the water, I hate this shit. Never loved it. Never liked it. Never will. See, get mesmerized by an orb. Oh my goodness. And that shit fall and it flutters and it touches water and that shit just turn into a shark. Or it turn into 3 or 4 sharks. The one orb. It turn into 5 or 7 big ass great megalodons. And it just starts chopping the shit out of everybody on the beach. Can that happen? I need to, before I go to work, white man, right? Before I go back, since you're dropping all of this shit and you're making us go back into the fire instead of letting us go with a phone to get paid so we can run the fuck away. You know, you got us on the clock. Scheduled. Are you scheduling this shit? Niggas waiting for the bus. Is an orb gonna touch the ground? Right. And out of nowhere, a fucking black bull will start running the streets. I need to know this. Because if white people, if y'all about to pull out all the stops with magic and shit, I got some shit to tell you. You know, I'm native here. This is how I feel until I drop and come back. Y'all niggas got to do a little bit more to cease my fire. Let me see some shit like that again. Fuck the orb. The orb followed me. It scared me for a bit. Then I realized in my prime, I was able to run 30 miles per hour. No, not 20. No, not 25. I got up to 30. Yeah, I was a savage. So I was able to get out of there with a smile. I always do. But if that shit gets smart enough and touch ground and turn into something, brother, that's something. That is some shit. That'll make you think. People that go disappearing, then one of them orbs just hurry up at the speed of light, touch the ground, and just turn into a kidnapped serial killer and abduct somebody. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now it seems possible now. New City, New York. Y'all niggas had it coming. They threw y'all off because what? California is the exact opposite side. So if you want somebody to look one way before you blind them, before they look the other, that was perfect. Now here it goes, nigga. What are them orbs really here for? I put that on everything. If one of them orbs hit the ground and turn into a bunch of roaches, or turn into a bunch of ants, or they turn into a infestation of rats, that's probably what happened. We all probably sleep at the same time, and then the orbs touch the ground and turn into mice. The new people, watch, they're gonna have mice people after humans be extinct. The cat people was here already. They said mice and roaches lived through atomic bombs and nuclear bombs. The orbs is countering the nuclear bombs, the missiles, the rockets, and all that shit. So why not put life down here? It don't take an orb to be that smart. I would be smart like that. Yeah, put the whatever can survive, put it here. And then we have things that can eat that shit and start life. It's called mech. You ever heard that? Everybody that's left here on Earth is left for mech. Or some people say it's a meek. You feel me? I don't know if it's a lizard that's in charge, a lion that's in charge, a wolf, or a dresser with a fucking program robot computer installed in it. All I know is this shit is just ruthless. That's all I know. That shit is savage, whatever that shit is. Whoever's in charge, I'm talking about savage. Now that'll make you think, like for real, like you start seeing crazy shit. Porcupine UFOs. It's not looking like a porcupine. These might think you crazy because they ain't see it. Word. They got everybody's DNA. Everybody that checked to see what their nationality was, them chromosome shits, yeah, their ancestry DNA, they got you. They're about to just spin you again. Facts. They got all of us. That's all they need is some. They just told you. All they need is just spit and they can bring you back alive. That's all they need is some spit and they can make you again. Spit, a camera phone, and some technology. I don't know. I'm confused. Are we working for the right people? That's what I'm saying. If we got aliens over here on the earth making